What if I told you that some of the biggest stories in WWE history have been completely twisted by time? That the narratives you believed for over a decade were actually completely wrong? Today, we're breaking down 5 stories that WWE almost buried revelations that are reshaping how we see legends like Daniel Bryan, Kayden Carter, Chris Jericho, Io Sky, and even Triple H himself. Stick around, because what you're about to hear will change everything. Let's start with the story that broke the internet: Daniel Bryan's firing. For 14 years, wrestling fans believed Bryan was fired for choking Justin Roberts with a tie during the legendary Nexus invasion on the 7th of June 2010. That's what everyone heard. That's what everyone believed. But David Otusha, an original Nexus member, just went on his YouTube channel and revealed the real reason Bryan got his walking papers. According to Otusha, who was literally in that moment, Bryan didn't get fired for the choking, he got fired for spitting directly in John Cena's face. Yeah, you read that right. The spit, not the tie. Now, Bryan himself actually confirmed in 2024 that both actions happened. But here's the kicker. Vince McMahon gave these guys an insane ultimatum before the segment even started. They were literally told to go down to that ring and destroy everything. And if it didn't look vicious enough, they were all fired on the spot. Talk about pressure. Otusha said they thought they were actually getting fired that day. The desperation was real because it was real. But when they came back, they got a standing ovation. Only problem? Bryan paid the price, got rehired 2 months later, and went on to become one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. So Vince literally fired him for doing exactly what he was told to do. Now jump forward to 2025, and we're seeing the same pattern with Kayden Carter. The former WWE Tag Team star was just released on May 2nd, and she just came forward saying something that should alarm WWE management. She and her partner Katana Chance weren't just fired, they were set up for failure. In an interview with Denise Salcedo, Carter explained how they were constantly given minimal time, minimal mic time, and minimal opportunities. She said they'd go out there for 3 minutes, have to kill it in that 3-minute window, and then face criticism for having no personality. But how can you develop personality when you're never handed a microphone? Exactly. These young women worked their hearts out, were a tag team staple, and then got cut loose. The heartbreaking part? Kayden's still confident she'll prove people wrong. That's the spirit, but it highlights a serious problem at WWE right now. Meanwhile, Mark Henry is basically screaming from the rooftops about what WWE should be doing. He's saying Chris Jericho doesn't need to be competing anymore. Jericho needs to be in WWE creative. The man's been reinventing himself for 20 years, he's made ridiculous money, and he's arguably the most versatile wrestler alive. Henry literally said if he were in Vince or Triple H's position, he'd pay Jericho whatever he wants and put him in the writer's room. Because Jericho has this gift of taking an idea and making it better. He dissects angles, he elevates talent, he's the complete package. And yet, the wrestling world's obsessed with whether Jericho will have one more match instead of recognizing his actual superpower, making everyone around him better. But wait, there's more. Io Sky just revealed why she's the best woman wrestler on the planet right now. Leilani Kai, a legendary WWE icon, literally said Sky is the greatest lady wrestler at the moment. And here's something mind-blowing. Sky's name isn't even her original name. She chose Io Sky because when you hear it, you imagine fire, you imagine strength, you imagine power, and you won't forget it. She also revealed that insane trash can spot from War Games where she couldn't see anything going in blind, almost backed out, but pushed through because the show had to go on. That's sacrifice. That's what separates the good from the legendary. Finally, we've got to address the elephant in the room, Maven and Triple H. Maven just said straight up that Triple H doesn't like him, and he doesn't think he's ever coming back to WWE while Hunter's in charge. Maven said he'll always be labeled as the tough enough guy in Triple H's eyes. But here's the thing, Maven also acknowledged that Triple H knows wrestling better than almost anybody on the planet. So it's complicated. Meanwhile, Triple H has been explaining how modern heels and babyfaces work. He's talking about gray characters, justified motivations, and real storytelling. He's clearly thought deeply about the psychology of wrestling in 2025.